Hey everyone, finished watching the next episode of Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, Lights, Camera, Dax. Mr. Hartford is showing the team new equipment he's working on. Dax rushes in excited to show everyone an acting job he wants to apply for, but then Ronnie tells him the team is more important. Mr. Hartford as well tells Dax they need him here. Moltor, meanwhile, summons a new monster and sends it to steal Miratrix and Camdor's map. Rose walks in on Dax practicing lines from the job he wants. Rose encourages him to do the audition anyway. If they offer him the part, just turn it down. Hopefully, they'll remember him and call him in the future. He goes to the audition, but the director turns away everyone after he finds an actor he likes. Dax insists on auditioning, but the director turns him down once again. Suddenly, a stage light tips over and it's about to crash right into the director. Dax jumps in and rescues him. The director is grateful and asks Dax to take the part. Dax recalls what he and Rose talked about earlier, but the words that come out of his mouth are the opposite. The Rangers are called together to deal with Miratrix and Camdor fighting with Moltor. I kind of think they should have just let them keep fighting and not get involved. Who cares what they do? Them intervening actually just allows Miratrix and Camdor to get away with the map. Dax follows them through a cave and gets stuck in a cave-in, but blasts his way out and returns to the movie set. Mr. Hartford reveals to the Rangers that he knows where Dax is because he owns the studio making the movie. Rose apologizes for encouraging Dax to take the part. Dax is in the middle of a fight scene when Miratrix and Camdor happen by. Dax doesn't see them and leaves the set to return to the mansion. The bad guys brainwash the movie's stunt crew and turn some nearby stuff into monsters. Ultor and his monster and Lava Lizard show up and battle Camdor and Miratrix's new minions. The stuntmen apparently had real weapons for some reason. I don't know, maybe Camdor made the weapons, but it's still weird. Like, we don't see that happen. The Rangers go to stop them, and Mr. Hartford sends the new Trans-Tech armor to assist. Dax pilots the Zord-like mech suit. With it, he defeats the monsters and the rest of the bad guys retreat. Back at the mansion, Dax and Rose are punished by having to clean the bathrooms, of which there are 27 for some reason.
You don't know how many bathrooms this place has.
27.
This episode is frustrating but okay. Mr. Hartford definitely doesn't come off the most reasonable here. Dax is 100% not under any obligation to be at Hartford's call every moment. He's an adult and should be allowed to make any decision he wants, especially here where the Rangers barely make a difference in what's going on. Yeah, they get the map back, but that's really the only victory. Miratrix and Camdor couldn't freaking read it, so it's not like they would have made any progress regardless. Usually, when someone acts unusually unreasonable in a show, I blame it on a character being twisted to fit the plot, but here, the plot tries its hardest to keep Dax in the right. If not the right, definitely in the more reasonable. I think I've used the word reasonable here more times than ever before. So yeah, I'm on Dax's side on this. If this was Mighty Morphin, Zordon would give Dax the option to remain on the team or leave. Or, more likely, wouldn't have the Rangers actively engage the enemy and just observe, so Dax wouldn't even need to be there. Probably just Will would need to be there, since he has super sight and can observe from a safe distance. The whole episode just feels wrong and uncomfortable from the start. Ronnie is usually so friendly and outgoing. Her, of all people, telling Dax not to do something feels very off. Rose, being the one to encourage him, also feels kinda weird. She's the brains, excitable at times, yeah, but it seems like she should be more by the books than anyone. Maybe this is character development from Pirate and Pink, but it's not really brought up, and, like, so far, Operation Overdrive hasn't been super continuity driven. The bad guys fight amongst themselves, and usually I'd find that cool, but these villains just aren't that interesting. I want to know more about Camdor and Miratrix's past and goals, but I don't think I'll get it. The movie Dax is a part of is kinda unusual. Immediately after being cast, he's thrown into an advanced battle scene. No choreography training, rehearsal, none of that. Compare this to Time Force's movie Madness. Wes had seen the fight of the movie he took part in, and it's basically a sparring match with one opponent. He was an adept martial artist. Dax is in a fight with multiple opponents who possibly have real weapons with zero foresight of what's going to happen. Dax is an experienced stuntman, but I don't know if the director is aware of how far his skills go, and, like, I don't know, it's just weird. Someone said once it's strange when movies and TV shows depict the making of a movie or TV show, and they get the details completely wrong. There's also a few little odd things, too, like Mr. Hartford owns a movie studio? This makes his comment about not remembering seeing Dax in the movie King for a Day even weirder. In the first episode, he tells Dax he's a fan of his, and then later he seems to forget that Dax's main job is a stuntman. Now we learn he owns a studio? So it's not like he was talking out of his ass. He should know something about how movies are made. Then again, he could be one of those types of executives who doesn't have any creative involvement or any kind of actual relevance and just gets in the way of the actual creators because he's rich. Hartford Mansion has 27 bathrooms. To paraphrase Randall from Clerks, 27? We see the mansion exterior quite often, and yeah, it's a big place, but big enough to warrant 27 bathrooms? Before the Rangers were assembled, the place was just Mac and Spencer. Hartford was an explorer and treasure hunter. I don't think he would have been there often. So I'll be generous and say the place averages having 5 people regularly. There's 3 floors. The first floor, second floor, and the basement/command center. Let's say that there's 5 bathrooms on each floor. That's nearly half the amount stated. Why in the world would this building be built in the first place with that many bathrooms? Additionally, why would each one need to be cleaned? Surely several out of 27 go weeks without seeing any use. Wait a minute, Mac is the first one to say something to Dax about how many bathrooms there are.
You don't know how many bathrooms this place has.
Spoilers, but does he even use a bathroom? So yeah, this episode is a definite step down from the previous. Not awful, not at all cost level, but yeah, this season is off to a rocky start. Something needs to come along and shake things up. Maybe a new Ranger. That's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.
27.